Hey guys, and welcome to Car Guy 1999 Reviews. Today, thanks to Infinitive Nashville, we have our 2023 Kia Stinger GT line. When the Stinger was refreshed, and I believe it was 2022, the GT line, in my opinion, got the biggest change because it got a completely new engine, now featuring a turbocharged 2.5 liter turbo 4. I just said turbo twice. It's the same thing. Exterior color Panthera metal. Interior color black, of course. Have all the specs and description, because when you film 10 cars in 3 days, you can't memorize all the specs. I love the Stinger. Absolutely love the Stinger. I do think it is a shame that I got discontinued. Holy crap! Well, sorry, Lewis. That's just gonna, okay, it's all good to go. GT line's gonna have unique wheels, slightly smaller than what you're gonna find in the GT, and there's minute differences that you'll be able to tell. Headlights are a little bit different, but just a really good car. And I think that comes down to who some of the developmental engineers of this platform were, i.e. Albert Biermann. If you're not familiar, Albert Biermann is the brains behind Hyundai's N division, and obviously, you know, the Genesis G70, they all talk to each other to try to get platform dynamics, the best platform dynamics they can. Well, that Albert Biermann might sound familiar, because he comes from BMW M in, I think, what their heyday was, and that was the E46 M3, the E60 M5. Just these absolute gems of M cars that will go down in history as some of the best BMWs ever made. And respectfully, if you don't agree with me on that, you're an idiot. Respectfully. Oh, love this interior. I've spent many a time behind the wheel of a Stinger, and I will never deny the opportunity to get behind the wheel again. A couple different drive modes: Sport, Comfort, Eco, Smart. We're gonna go into Sport. Active sound design was a new change for 22. Good T-handle shifter that was in every Stinger except the GT2, which also means every Stinger except the GT2 you can lock into manual mode. Other than that, this has a designated manual mode. The GT2, the biggest complaint was, oh, you can't lock it into manual. Get a GT1 or a GT or a GT line. But either way, let's go for a drive. I think I already alluded to the fact of what makes a Stinger so special, and that's its platform. It's its chassis dynamics. It feels very German, and that is the biggest compliment ever, especially for a Kia. And while this doesn't have the big horsepower of the twin turbo 6, this turbo 4 has plenty of torque, plenty of get up and go, and it pulls pretty much through the entire rev range. You do have that good mid-range grunt that I would come to expect from a turbo 4. When I used to work at a Kia dealership or for a franchise that had a Kia dealership, multiple, I thought many times about leasing the Stinger. And I think I'll always have that back of the mind, like, I really kind of should have bought one. But if I didn't, I wouldn't have had the Hellcat, and if I didn't have the Hellcat, I wouldn't have had the Porsche. Just the way my whole life worked out, I'm happy where I'm at. But I do think eventually I want to buy a Stinger GT. However, if I can't swing for the GT line still provides a lot of that fun at a much cheaper price point. In many ways, it actually feels a little bit more nimble than the big GT. The GT has so much power that you kind of run into, you can't open it up all the time. The GT line has just enough power where you can really kind of enjoy this car without doing stupid speeds. And I think that adds a lot of fun. You know, obviously everybody's all about horsepower numbers. I bought a Hellcat, so obviously I'm one of them. But I also then bought a Porsche Boxster GTS with less than, no, half the horsepower, a little over half. Because after a while, you start to appreciate different aspects of vehicles. And in this case, I really appreciate the platform, the handling, the dynamics, steering feel, brake pedal feel. It's all there in this car. You know, my first car was a Kia Spectra, an 07 Kia Spectra, a little 5-speed hatchback, fun car. It is amazing to think that this is now a Kia. And I think in the mainstream manufacturer world, Mazda's a very close second. Or Mazda might even made a more, no, because Mazdas were always looked well upon. What on earth are you? So I will say this, Kia went from being a laughingstock of the car community to being a very highly respected brand and winning lots of awards. The Kia Telluride won SUV of the year from multiple different motoring publications. And that is not for no reason. Dang it. These cars are just absolute gems to drive. You can tell there's still a ton of thrust. I'm not really missing that 6. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.